Congratulations. Come on over here. With these awards comes a podium of opportunity to speak.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Pastors Lindsay and Charles. Thank you to the ILM board for giving us this honor tonight. We really appreciate it. My husband asked me to speak because the Lord spoke to me and told me to do it. But he was always behind me, with me, not behind me, with me. He's with me, and he provided the funds. And how many people know you can have a good idea, but if you don't have the money to do it, it's no good. So he helped me with all the fundraising and did it for me, actually, and we make a good team. As pastors, we always believed in the sanctity of life, but in 1993, the Lord broke our hearts about abortion and the pro-life area, and we took on a new dimension in the pro-life area. And every Saturday we would go to the Robbinsdale abortion clinic, and we would do what my husband calls sign evangelism. We had these big signs that had beautiful babies on them saying, "Let us help you. Let your baby live. Children are an inheritance of the Lord, a blessing from God." And we would have those encouraging signs, and a lot of women would change their mind about abortion. And we were so thankful for that. But one day while we were there doing sign evangelism, I heard an audible voice say, "I want you to start a place, to open up a place where women can come before they want to go to an abortion clinic." And there was a lady standing right next to me, and I said to her, "Did you just hear something? Did you just say something to me?" And she kind of looked at me strange, "No." And then my husband was standing down a little bit further on the sidewalk, so I went down to him and I said, "Honey, did you just hear something? Did you say something to me?" And he said, "No." And so I knew that God was speaking to me because it was an audible voice and it was so real to me. I can remember right now how it sounded and what was said. So I explained to him what happened, and he was so excited. He said, "Honey, you find the place and I'll get you the money. I'll help raise the money." And so the next week I went and looked for places, and nothing really was what we wanted. And so I just thought, we're going to continue doing what God called us to do, go and do sign evangelism, and eventually he will open up a place. Obviously, we looked around for other places. But one day I came to the abortion clinic, and across the street was this huge sign that said, "3-room office for rent." And I just actually started jumping up and down. I can remember that moment too. And I'm kind of a conservative person, so it was unusual for me. But I knew that was the place. And that was on Saturday. The next Monday, we went and met with the landlord. We rented it for $500 a month. It was unbelievable. We paid our rent, and we started getting ready to open up. And since the day we opened up, that's been 25 years ago, babies and women have been saved from the devastation of abortion. It isn't just the baby, it's also the mother. Later, we realized we needed more space, and my darling husband found the money for us to buy the building. So instead of being one of 5 clients that rented that building, we owned the building, and we were able to use the whole building. Later, I heard an account about a woman who was very hard and definitely wanted to have an abortion. And she was just determined. And so I said to him, offer her a free ultrasound. And there was a doctor close by that would give free ultrasounds for certain people, for a few people every month. And she went to get the ultrasound. When she saw the baby on the screen, she broke down and said, "Oh, it's a baby." And she changed her mind about abortion. The Lord spoke to me at that time, just in my heart, but I said, we need our own ultrasound machine. And so I went home again, talked to the boss, said, "Honey, I think we need an ultrasound machine for the Robbinsdale Women's Center." And he agreed with me. He thought it was a great idea. And so that Sunday at our church, he announced that we were going to get that by the end of the year, that was in November, around Thanksgiving, by the end of the year, we were going to have money to buy an ultrasound machine for the Robbinsdale Women's Center. And don't you know, On December 31st, in the afternoon, one of our church members called us and said, I got an extra large bonus this year from my employer, and I would like to give the money that it will take to buy that machine. So we had an ultrasound machine at our center. At that time, there was only about 2 or 3 centers in the whole United States that had ultrasound machines. Now they all have them. But the people that direct the crisis pregnancy centers were against it. They thought they would get sued. And the attorneys for all those people were against it. But we had a wonderful Christian man, and he said, if God told you to do it, then we're going to do it. And so we got our ultrasound machine. We were one of the first few people in the whole United States that had that. I asked Dr. Charles if I could bring along an article that I got yesterday. It gives a little bit more history about the Robbinsdale Women's Center. It gives a couple testimonies, and they're out on the table if you're interested. But you know, all praise and glory really goes to God, because it was His idea in the beginning. He entrusted me with it, and that's something I'm so grateful for. And it just teaches us, if God gives you an idea, no matter how big it is, just be faithful, and He'll help you get it done. And I just want to thank all the volunteers. I don't know if there's any volunteers here. All the churches that helped. Our church was very instrumental for the first 2 years. My wonderful husband, who provided lots and lots of money for us to do what we had to do. And tonight I have 2 guests. Actually, I have 3 guests with me. Would you mind standing up? Stephanie Gavin and her daughter, Ariana Stewart. This might not be exactly what you think it is. Stephanie, the mother, Stephanie, do you mind just raising your hand? She came to the Robbinsdale Women's Center in August of 1995, thinking about abortion. I have to say how God is so great. The Robbinsdale abortion clinic is across the street. We're the Robbinsdale Women's Center. Many times people got mixed up, and they came in our doors. We never lied to them. We never deceived them. But they came into our doors thinking they were going into an abortion clinic. And we would say, well, you need counseling before you can do anything. And they would receive counseling. And Stephanie came. She was thinking about abortion. She was in a crisis situation in her life right then. A lot of women just don't know what they're going to do. And we give them ideas, help, strength, prayer, all kinds of things to help them and be with them. And so, with this love and support of a center, she made one of the best decisions she's ever made to birth and parent her child, which is Ariana. It's so wonderful to have you here. Ariana is her daughter. She's been married for 3 years. She doesn't look old enough to be married for 3 years. But she is married for 3 years, and she is holding her 6-week-old son, Ethan. What a blessing. 3 generations are blessed by the excellent choice that Stephanie made 22 years ago. And they are featured in this this pamphlet that's out on the table. So you want to get it, and there's plenty of copies for everybody. You want to get it and read it a little bit about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much.